Good morning. Happy Sunday morning. We're coming in hot. I feel like we're just going to do a coffee and tarot. I was thinking totally that we were going to do like the week ahead, but we're not. We're doing a coffee and tarot. And a coffee and tarot is like, there's just no holds bar. It's sitting down, having a conversation, getting cozy, relaxing, and talking to spirit. So it can go any kind of direction. But we do settle in because there's usually quite a message. And it comes about when we need it. Let's just say that. So on that note, welcome. Welcome to Weird and Woo Woo. We're all a little weird and get a little woo woo. And by weird, we mean awesome. Because weirdness is a byproduct of awesome. You can't be awesome and not be a little bit weird. We're talking about your full-on, authentic, crazy little self, loving it, sharing it, displaying it, and never hiding it, right? Total safe space to be that here. But I do want to remind you that you are the sovereign being, okay? Ooh, they're sticky. What the? There you are. I'll keep talking. You are the sovereign being of your life. And therefore, you get to determine if, when, where, how, why this message fits. Yes, I don't like sticky. So I'm about to add some potent spray. Can I just say that? Cleaner. Anyways. And so on that note, we basically just don't Cinderella this to make it fit, okay? Now, I do have the goal that even if a message isn't directly for you, that there's always something that you can get out of it, okay? Something that can make other things click, even if it's just a sentence and you're like, oh, I needed to hear that. So by all means, you most certainly can stick around, but if you choose not to, that's fine. I hope you have a fantastic and fabulous day, and we'll see you again another time, okay? All right. I think you can tell I've not been awake for very long. I still have morning voice, but I feel really good and cozy and just this morning. And it's the first day of fall. Oh, it's the fall equinox where I'm at, September 22nd. So I have no doubt that that's going to be infiltrating the energy of this reading today. Oh, I love it. Yummy. Fall or autumn, some people don't like calling it fall, is my favorite season. Oh my gosh. And I do like when it kind of bleeds into winter just a tad. So basically from like October 1st to January 1st is like my most favorite time of year. Just everything about it. Maybe that has something to do with what's about to come through. Let me sit and try to figure out what deck we're going to start off with. I cannot get over the... It's like it's a comforting feeling, but it's like feeling so good in my own skin. I want to liken it to utterly satisfied. You know when you can sit in the peace of your own energy because there's nothing to change, nothing to do, there's no agenda, there's no there's just nothing to fix, there's nothing to be anticipating. It's just sitting in your own energy and the energy that surrounds you and just being like, that's just what it feels like. So that is a really great energy, and I don't know if that's something that you are going towards or if you've already gotten there, because if you have, buddy, I love your energy. Not that I want to be an energy vampire, but I sure as heck would love to share a coffee. Oh my gosh, now they're showing me, now Now I'm just trying to wonder if they're just trying to like play to my love of autumn here, because I am seeing like a peaceful morning walk to a coffee shop kind of energy. And like just sinking in with your cup. So for me, I feel like they're trying to give me symbolism that I understand to give you. So I look forward to that kind of stuff. Like if I know, ooh, tomorrow's going to be a chill day and it'll be a great day to walk, like to just walk to the coffee shop kind of thing, I will immediately feel the energy of that whenever I've decided that I'm going to go. It doesn't have to be the morning of. So if like the day before I'm like, ooh, yeah, tomorrow I'm going to go and just, it feels like there's no agenda. And so you can relax and there's a leisure about it. And when you don't have something to anticipate, you can just really be in the present moment and like sop it up, like really soak it up. And I get this feeling of being excited that I get to do that frequently, you know, like I think that's why they're trying to pair like autumn and that, because like it's not blazing hot outside, you know, and so it's like the perfect time to go and enjoy the hot coffees and walk and like that air, the air is just perfect at that time. And so like, you know, you can kind of get anticipatory about something happening. Ooh, that's going to happen a lot more, you know, kind of thing. And so there's an anticipation of this no agenda, leisurely absorbing, existing in and loving the energy and not feeling distracted by like a to-do list or having to focus in any particular area. So it's kind of like all you got to do is focus on you. And I've got sirens going on in the background, so that's Archangel Michael right there. That's a confirmation. Okay, and we have a cardinal showing up too. All right, let's dig in. I do feel like the Traveler Oracle, Sacred Traveler Oracle. This is the only thing about coming on so early is I'm like, oh, Madame Endora's fortune telling deck. Now I'm gonna get this going. This deck, it's the only one that it's like bent a little wonkiness on me. Like all my other decks are great. It is a slightly flimsier card. It's like stiff yet flimsy. I don't know how to explain it. But I've had this thing for 5 years. Oh, but okay. Okay, I'm losing control. You got this. Come on. You know, the funny thing about right now is that whether or not the season you're going into is the same all across the world, it is a change of season for everyone. In some areas, the change is more severe, in others, it is not. But it is the change of season for everyone. Ooh. Ooh, your abilities are going to be enhanced. There's going to be triumph over adversities. I want to say your capability, your capacity. Fate has blocked this path for you. Hindrance. There's been a hindrance. I think that's the adversity. There's been some blockage along your path. Again, I always want to like, I'll put my coffee over here. I love the natural light on my desk. So, I want to say the adversity, the triumph over the adversity that they're talking about is something that's blocked a hindrance in your path. It's been a hindrance in your path. Something has stopped you. Oh, baby. Here we go. And then a long journey brings rewards. So this has taken quite amount of time to overcome. Something has really been in the way. Let your intentions be known. And the conflict and danger lie in wait. Oh, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. And they're like, that's not for them. Oh. Okay, so they're bringing me to the idea and notion that fate and destiny, while anything that is destined for you is wrapped up in fate, fate is based upon the choices and decisions that you make that bring about certain inevitable events. And of course, because destiny is something that you have to choose, I want to say that there were certain choices and decisions that were almost blocked for you, meaning that you weren't able to make a choice. You weren't able to act on something. You weren't, like, it was removed from the table altogether, kind of thing. And the conflict and danger that lie in wait really has something to do with whoever removed those options from you. Who, like, I feel like there is somebody that's, like, there's some type of conflict or, that's heavy, retribution that's going to happen for somebody. I get the energy of, if you're going to make something abundantly. Okay, so they're giving me a bunch of little things. You know that old saying that hell hath no fury like a woman scorned? They're kind of giving me that, like you or whoever I'm reading for is at a stage where it's like, once I articulate something, don't get in my way. Like, I feel like something's going to become known. And it's almost as if it's like, don't you dare step in front of me. Don't you dare. It's not it's not going to be pretty, they just said. But this, on the same scale, I am also feeling as if it's kind of like, also they're saying articulate something. If there's something that you haven't been, sometimes we attempt to avoid, we try to avoid the conflict by not, like, keeping the peace and not saying something. This could be even as, like, I don't want any issues with my landlord, so I'm just not going to say anything to him, or I'm not going to go above this person's head and report them to such and such agency because I might bear the burden. And that may have been true because you had some hindrance in your path. You had some options that weren't there for you to choose. But I feel like saying that's changing given the triumph over adversity. So it's one of those things where it's like, you may have bit your tongue in the past because of circumstances, and you're like, I don't have any other recourse because the other options aren't here. That's changing, and they're asking you to absolutely speak up. Say it now, because whoever, I feel as if, like, someone was placed into a position where it's almost as if, this is the way it's playing out for me. Your capacity to do something before, you had, let's say you should have had your Seven of Cups. There were several options. You had like 2 that were missing, and then somebody else, because they saw the leverage, they're like, ooh, you got those 2 missing. Ooh, now I'm going to put this little thing in your way, and I'm going to remove another 3. And so you as a result only had 2 cups before you, and that wasn't sufficient enough to sustain you to make any amount of change, right? And so they're kind of like saying, somebody may have taken advantage of the fact that you had certain things. And so, like, because you didn't have the choice before you couldn't make any change, right? And so fate was really blocked. Like, again, fate is wrapped up in the choices that you make. And the fact that I said earlier that fate and destiny are wrapped up in one another, because the only way to reach your destiny is to make the aligned choices and decisions, which is fated. You know, like whatever's fated for you is based upon the actions or lack thereof you've taken, right? And so by removing certain options, somebody really stopped you from reaching a place that you were destined to go. Like it was really aligned for you and meant for you. And so the idea is you are not to stay quiet now. Something either has or is going to happen where it's like those two options that were removed that gave whoever an opportunity to block you, that shit's removed. Like that's put back on the table. And now you have leverage to call out others that took advantage of your position, who continued to block you even further, who created more difficulty for you on your path. And it's like they're going to get what's coming to them. So don't bite your tongue. Call it out. Name it. If it's reporting something or someone to a higher authority, now's the time to do it. Spirit's like, don't get happy that more options are put on your table and you're like, oh, finally I'm going to get out of here. They're like, no. Call this motherfucker out who also chose to. I feel as if whatever they did kept those other. Okay. I know it's very convoluted. I'm going to give you an example. Let's just say there is 4 options for you, right? And one of them was taken away. And so you're here, and it's like, I need to get here, and then somebody else is like, because you couldn't do anything about it, they took more of your options. Right? And it's like the really important, pertinent piece was right here. And you didn't have it, and somebody took advantage of that and took more off of your plate, and so you were stuck here on this spot. Well, now somehow this is returned, and this was like the leverage that kept all other options in play. You know what I'm saying? And so now that it's back, you get to call somebody out for their shit. Like you need to bring attention to something. It's like whoever took these 2 to make it even worse on you, like to remove and because you couldn't reach your destiny then. You didn't have anything to choose. You didn't have any way to act. You didn't have, and so fate was in essence blocked. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. Like, somebody took advantage of the fact that there was an option removed, that a really pertinent piece. This would be like you not having the funds to fight against somebody in regards to something, whether it's like a parent, a co-parenting situation, like, they took advantage of the fact that you wouldn't be able to do anything about what they were doing because you didn't have the money to go to court, kind of thing, or that type of situation. And it's kind of like, don't let, and something happens where the other option shows up and you have like you have another choice. And therefore, fate comes back into play because you have options again. Don't let somebody else slide. Because this danger that lies in wait is like their ass is going to get cooked as a result. Like, what comes back to them is going to be, whoop. Okay, so we're going to get a little bit more. Let's pull some more cards. I want Sun Knight Tarot. We're going to look, okay, so let's just see. We're going to leave it open. And that's why they're like, your abilities will be enhanced. Like, what you're capable of doing now is you're going to have more options available to you that include calling somebody out. I'm hearing Adele's "You'll reap just what you sow." You know, I can't sing, y'all, so here you go. Let me make sure we are still aligned, that you can see all the, okay, you can. You're good. Wait, I had to make sure it was still recording too. And then they're singing the start, "You're gonna wish you never had met me." Oh, somebody, you're like, don't spare somebody their karma, is what I want to say. King of Wands. Ooh. Let's set some shit ablaze. Six of Cups. There's the 7 of Cups. There's that 7 of Cups. And it's funny because I'm getting the energy of like a depressive situation with the 6 of Cups. 6 of Cups is on the heels of the 5 of Cups, right? Where everything is going wrong, where the emotional burden and turmoil that you experience as a result, and you're trying to look at a way out of it, and you can't figure how to get out of this exceptionally depressive energy. That's why I was picking up the depression, because this is on the other side of it. But take a look at this particular one. Remember I said one option is going to come back on that you can act towards, which then gives you freedom. You get out of this little stuck place that you've been in, because that's kept you from making moves towards something that you're destined for. Something that is really, that you're very much aligned with. And so, and it's almost as if you act on that one thing, a bunch more opens up. See, the 7 of Cups, I knew there were so many options, and somehow it's almost like, remember the 4 cards, it was like you removed that one and you couldn't get to the other 2. But just for shits and giggles, somebody removed the other 2. And so it's one of those things where it's kind of like, the 6 of Cups is talking about receiving that thing that takes you out of the 5 of Cups, that gives you that one extra what, like, look at her, how she lifts it up. It brings back some level of joy and possibility. It's the belief of hope and possibility and another way of moving. And as a result, somebody else. Okay. I'm curious now as to how. So let's talk about timelines. Sometimes we have like 4 different timelines based upon our decisions and choices that are before us. That's what we call a crossroads, right? And then how we act. So it's almost as if certain timelines were removed from you, but it's like a new one is put here, and maybe you want to be on this timeline, but if you just hop to this one and go a little bit further down, it splits off and merges with the next one, and then it gets you over. Like further down one timeline, a split off will merge with another time, and it'll get you there no matter what. It'll get you to the same place, right? And so there's an option that gets you there to the same place. Spirit is really wanting somebody to pay. And it doesn't feel, I gotta be honest with you, energy isn't like just my ex is gonna pay kind of thing. It's like, this is, I feel a sense of authority with this person. Now, that can still be your ex. That can be a family member. But they're also pulling in, like, there's people that are in places, situations, roles, jobs, that it's like they fucked around and they need to find out. They are in a position where they think they are untouchable and that they basically can do whatever they want. And they really want you to be the one to kind of like get the ball rolling, is what I just heard, on taking them down from this like spirit wants them off of their self-imposed high horse. There's something about calling someone out that actually takes them out of position of being able to do this to other people. it puts the spotlight on them, and it attracts attention, and more things will come out, and they're like, they will be taken down. King of Wands and the Magician. Like, you can't stop the King of Wands. He has the follow through, the drive, the power behind his action. And I'm really getting the fire. Like, I'm really getting the, I'll burn this place down. Like, there's nothing that's going to, it's giving dragon energy a little bit. Like, it's like, you have the power, the capacity, the ability, the drive. Like, you're in a position of power now to make something happen. You're the one that's in the position of power now to make something happen. You're now in the Six of Cups energy because something presents itself to take you out of the Five of Cups. And eventually will open up even more opportunities. So don't look at it like, oh, I got one of the many back. That's all you need. That's all you need. Because now you have another path to choose. That's all you need, and it'll get you there. Ooh. We have the Four of Cups and the Emperor. Four of Cups is that energy of waiting for that one extra cup, right? You've been staring at what's before you, not able to exercise or do something about. Like, the Three Cups that were before you were not the ones that would get you out of this situation. They weren't even a choice or a decision. Maybe they were, you know, again, we've got the Seven of Cups, 4 of them removed. This is what you've got, but it limited you. And the Three Cups that were sitting before you were not the choices, were not something that, and you may have been choosing them every day, but they weren't going to get you anywhere. Those Three Cups are what kept you in a pattern. You needed something else to choose to get you closer to your destiny. And that proverbial cup comes in. They're bringing me to the ram heads right here. And it's like, it pushes you through. It gives you the, I feel like whatever shows up is like, I see it, I see it, I see how this is going to get me where I need to go. And they're bringing me to, with this Emperor, the crown of thorns. I don't know if you can tell. I'll put this down so that you can see. I hope that you can see down here. He has a crown of thorns. And they're giving me like a level of persecution. I'm curious about this. Because something in me wants to say, no, this person is wrong. They're the ones that are, but I'm getting the spirit using the Emperor as you. And so whoever has felt like they've blocked you, like, I feel like somebody was really delusional in thinking that you were in the wrong and they were in the right. And maybe nobody else in the world would actually think that. Like, this person was effed up. And somehow, tell me more about this Emperor. Wow. 10 of Pentacles. 7 of Pentacles. Again, the cup comes in and it gives you the capacity to get something started, to get something going. 7 of Pentacles is about something will finally break ground. And it might not be much. Remember, you plant your seed, all it is just breaking ground. It's not at the place, right, at this point where it is popping off and it's producing fruit and it's this, and it's, you know, this luscious green, They wanted me to say fervent. And I'm like, does that make sense? I'm over here having now a conversation. You know, it really just, it's not to that stage. Let's just put it that way. I don't want to like, but it will. It'll get it. This leverages you to make it to the Ten of Pentacles. Again, all you needed was something to break ground. You needed that one thing that you could choose, that one action that to take after, like to go after. And so my question is, what comes in then? Is it the option, or is it a resource that brings you more options? Because, you know, if you get money, that's not an option necessarily, but it affords you more options. Or is it just like, oh, if you take, but it could be an option, like take this job, and this job eventually gets you to a place where it opens up more. I'm curious now. How is that going to play out? What does that actually look like for these individuals? I don't know. There's just that Hermetic Tarot. So your capacity and your abilities. And while yes, here's a funny thing. I think that, you know, think of the mind, body, spirit connection. And when things are blocked in your reality, it can create a hindrance and a blockage in other areas. Spiritually, emotionally, mentally, it can do that. So one feeds into the other. One influences the other. And so I want to say that I don't want to ignore the mystic circle, but I do feel as though as certain blockages in your 3D reality open up, you will feel more connected, and it'll unlock other blockages that may have come about as a result of this other, when options are removed from the table. 4 of Wands, 7 of Wands. That doesn't even feel right, so I'm going to put it back. I don't know if, like, maybe I should have not done that while I was talking or what. Because I got, like, dead energy off of that. Let me shut up and shuffle real quick. Ace of Swords. Empress. Knight of Swords. This did come out before the Knight of Swords. I'm going to put it there so I can read it as a story. Your lack of success is about to change. Seven of Pentacles again comes out, and it gives this energy of before something breaks ground, feeling as if you've been unsuccessful, that what you've planted won't come to fruition, which can happen sometimes. Not every seed produces, not every seed grows, especially if the ground isn't fertile. But that changes. The Knight of Swords is always like a 180. It's complete, total, utter change. A sweeping change. And it seems as if it's brought about by this Ace of Swords. And I wanna lean away from it's an idea. I do want to say that they're bringing me to the idea that this is the root of the power of air, which is your voice, communication, truth. And they want me to draw a likening to the idea of do not forget to call something out, to say it. Give me just a moment. I'm trying to feel the Empress. The Empress is the idea that has been waiting to come through. Not the idea. Shit. The creation. I don't know why I said idea. Because they already told me it's not an idea. And I was thinking creation, and then my mouth said blip. You've been waiting to bring something. This is your, like, yeah, bringing something into reality, and it's felt like it's been unsuccessful. What is the Ace of Swords then? If it's not an idea, what is it? Ten of Wands. Oppression. We know that. It's okay. Obviously, the sword cuts through whatever that oppressive situation is, and it allows this creation that has been wanting to come into existence to come about. It changes things. It cuts some oppressive situation out. Is there any more detail on that we can get? It's justice. Shit. Judgment. I feel like, okay. Something gives you the ability to call something out. That new option to make change in your life is the option to say something about the other that has taken away. And you will highlight something, and there will be some massive judgment called on whatever, because this is a card of earthly power, whatever power stood in your way, but it also gives you power. Like we got the judgment card and the justice card. Somebody's gonna pay. Somebody's gonna pay for something. So you're being given the opportunity. You're gonna be given the opportunity to call something out. That's what that new option is. That's why they were saying, no, you need to make sure you do that. Ooh. And then that will allow all the other options to show up. Ooh. There's a heavy price to pay. It could even be like an institution. Like, let's say there's been a person within an institution that has created issues, but they're probably not the only one, right, that does this. And so you calling something out puts light to the institution, and it's like it almost, it brings light to all these other issues. Spirit doesn't want this to happen again to anybody else. And it brings something crumbling down. It's odd. Yeah, I would think that they would bring the Hierophant out. Yeah, they want me to look up the term retribution. I'm like, I feel like I know what that is. But there's something in it they want me to pick up on. So I'm gonna say it. Oh, punishment inflicted on someone as vengeance for a wrong or criminal act. Ooh, meaning that if you bring light to something, everybody else will. It kind of reminds me of, this is a very dramatic version of this, and I want to give a trigger warning, okay? But it reminds me of the, like Harvey Weinstein in Hollywood, where when someone or a couple of someone's finally decided to have, they had the ability to call it out and had the strength and wherewithal to call it out, that so much came from the dark crevices. Everything began to come to light. So this is a something or someone who has done many wrong and has had a sense of authority for quite some time. Now, I know that they are like right now in the mainstream, There's a lot being talked about and going on, and things coming to light with P. Diddy. I gotta be honest with you. Maybe about 10 minutes ago, I was like, are we? This sounds too much like P. Diddy. You know, this isn't about P. Diddy. This is just like, this is something happening across the globe right now. People are being given the opportunity to highlight and bring down oppressive, authoritarian energies, people, institutions all across. And whoever I'm reading for had literally every single option. Fate can't exist if you have no manner of acting. And so you may have felt like it was fate that kept you in, like you were fated to be in whatever situation you were in. And that's only because other options were removed from the table without your permission, without Spirit's permission. So as you see things like this happening on a larger scale in some of these larger institutions, you're being encouraged, because it's not just in those places that Spirit is bringing the opportunity for you to have the voice, for the light to be shown on things. It's at every level, the meta level, the macro level, the meso, the micro. Okay. And so in your life, Spirit is asking you to call something out, because from that comes so much more freedom and opportunity. And if you don't, who will? Spirit is needing that person to be willing to say, I will. Give me the opportunity and I will. I will call it out. I will speak my truth. And from that truth, what is meant to be birthed in your life will finally break ground. It will change. Your life will change. So don't think that this reading is coming about because, you know, this is not a jumping on a bandwagon of, ooh, people will tap in. No, this is happening everywhere on so many levels. And every level is important. Okay? There's a ricochet effect. Let's say this is something locally within your community, right? But because, especially with justice and judgment, there might be legal ramifications. And even if that's something that you yourself are not involved in, whatever enters into court systems or into other judgment authority, like, think of this as like a landlord getting reported to HUD, and HUD establishing, as a result of this, some level of ruling. Now, HUD is a housing authority type of thing in the United States. I'm sure it's called something different in other countries, but it's like, as a result of this situation, they put out a new rule for all landlords. And then somehow, you know, landlords try to buck against it and they take it to court, but then it gets upheld by the courts. And you may not have to be involved in all of that, but you saying something brings something to light. And as a result, so many will benefit. That is what Spirit is saying. So don't be afraid, is what I want to say, to speak up. You're being given that opportunity. Make use of it. Alrighty. I really do hope that this has found all the individuals that it's meant to find. I send strength and support your way as you do this. Know that you are supported and protected by the universe. This is your way to push through this blockade, and I want to say it's not a fight. Like, it's not a fight that you will have to fight necessarily. You just get to say something. Okay? and it takes the power away from someone else. Alrighty. I hope you have a fantastic and wonderful day. Thank you for joining, and I will see you guys later.